Hey, this is your girl Ask Dion, and I'm doing a part 2 video on why you're struggling in single motherhood, the unliving the kids edition. So, the reason why I want to make this video is because this is a little dark, but we're gonna keep it real because there are hundreds of cases of single mothers unaliving their children or abandoning them, or they're living in the worst living conditions where it's just extreme filth and stuff like that. And so basically when it gets to that level, that's when your body and your mind is in survival mode. So the purpose of this video is to say, I understand how you got there. Okay, I know you probably hear, oh, you're a horrible human being and she did this. Because I'm like a trained life coach and I've took some psychology courses. This is the last stage of your mind and your body trying to fight for survival, because this experience, you being a single motherhood, is causing so much trauma that it's activating your fight or response, your flight or fight response, and it's also activating your mental trauma response, and it's causing you to dissociate. Okay, so I want to tell you this: people are judging you right now. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Nothing gives people the satisfaction of knowing that you're struggling. They're talking crap about you anyway. So I'd rather you get talked about for dropping off your kids to CPS than for you to be getting talked about because you then got arrested, or God forbid your kid gets unalived because you did something to them or you just neglected them to the point that they perished. Okay? And so we're going to be real, because this is not for everybody. You know, society trying to make it seem like everybody can do this, and if you watched my part 1 video, you will understand how you got to this point anyway. But without further ado, this is how women get to the point where they want to hurt, or unalive their kids due to being a single mother. Because most of the time when we hear about these cases, it's some single mother who has a new boyfriend and the kids is in the way of her happiness and the kids gotta go, or she wants to go on a vacation. Hence that one story we heard about the lady who went to like Puerto Rico or the DR, and she left her 2-year-old in the crib for a week and a half, and the kid died. So this is really real, and I think this needs to be addressed. So without further ado, here we go. Your body is made to protect itself. If something traumatic happens, your body's not going to say, hey, let's save everybody. I mean, some people do, but the majority of, if something happens, your body is going to protect you. So your body does that 2 ways. It does it physically and it does it mentally. So first, we're going to talk about the physical. When you're in a situation where you're about to get attacked, or you're about to, you roll off a cliff and you hopped in the lake and drown, your body adrenaline kicks in, and then it goes into fight or flight or freeze. Okay, so when something happens to you, your body's like, oh no, you get so much energy to the point that you can punch through windows or you can fight off your attacker. That's your body protecting you, because your body wants to survive. If there's a food shortage, what does your body do? Your body will eat the fat, the stored fat in your body, to make sure it survives. The way the Creator designed us is for survival. Okay? So that's how you physically are when you're in a physical fight or flight. Now, when it comes to this mental stuff, right? When you are going through an experience that's so painful, that is so heartbreaking, that your brain, when it processes that pain, it has the ability to make you go insane. There are a lot of people in the psych ward who had mental breakdowns because they experienced something that was so traumatic that it caused their brain to collapse. Okay, so in order for your brain not to do that, your brain will go into a dissociative state where it'll say, hey, this experience is too much. I want this person to mentally survive, so I'm going to take over, and I'm either going to black out this experience, or I would create another personality that's able to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? So you might be the sweetest thing, and because then once that trauma hit, your brain might turn you into Jocelyn Hernandez or Taseki or somebody to be able to fight off whatever. Like, your mind will do this, right? Or it'll tell you to run away, or you won't care, or you will freeze. So a lot of times when it comes to single motherhood, because like I said, due to all the factors that I named in the part 1 video, please watch the part 1 video. Your brain will say, hey, me taking care of these kids that made me broke, talked about, I'm tired, I'm mentally losing my mind, these kids are a problem, it's time to get rid of the problem. And that's how people snap and unalive the kids or leave them for dead, to rest in the earth. Okay, so that's how they get to that state. So when you see a parent, like I said, if the living conditions is terrible, you know, they done left their kids, or when they get a guy, especially when they get like a new boyfriend, because I'm gonna make a whole separate video about how to date as a single mother and what to expect. But a lot of times, like with men, most men are selfish, and so your kids are going to be in the way of that man getting what he needs. And because usually single mothers are so deprived of love, that only a woman that's deprived of love will ever sacrifice her kids for a dude. But these women be so deprived of love because they don't have a system, they're tired or overworked, and this is somebody, you know, gravitating toward their lower nature and stuff like that, they'll sacrifice the kids. So this is how they get to this point. So if you're at the point where all you thinking about is escaping or wishing that something would happen to the kids so that you can be free, or you're literally like having to fight the temptation to unalive the kids to yourself, please give the kids up for adoption. My mom was a foster kid, and the lady who took care of her was phenomenal, and she raised me, and you know, things are great. And that lady raised like 10 to 12 other children. I know some people who have been adopted, so I'm just stressing. Like I said, before I had children, I was singing that, oh, now that I know this is not for the weak, like, at all. Anytime I see a mother that's able to run multiple kids and keep the house clean or whatever, I'm like, hats off to you. But that's not all of us. Some of us weren't meant to be mothers. We were meant to be Carrie Bradshaw in the city. Okay? Some of us wasn't meant to be, you know, mothers. Some of us were meant to be the next female Jeff Bezos. And so, you know, I really recommend for you guys to do this. You know what I'm saying? I like I said, yes, if you give them to foster care, they could probably go somewhere horrible, but they're just much as in danger with you than a freaking stranger. At least we could give them a 50-50 chance. So when you look at this video, I want you to know that I see you. I see you in your sweats. I see you in that jacked up ponytail. I see you with them dishes piled up in the sink. I see you when you want to date that guy, but he don't want to date you because you have kids. I see you when that guy talks crap to you because you don't want to give him all your attention because you have to watch out for your children, or the fact that you have to say no to that trip because nobody wants to watch your kids. I see you. I see you, and I love you, and I want you to know that this is going to be a safe space for us, because, you know, we got people making videos about how great it is that they didn't have kids, or we seen multiple videos of women crashing out. So I'm not going to be over here with tears and crying, because at the end of the day, we got some kids to raise. And remember, some of the greats came from single mothers. Like Shaq came from a freaking single mother. Okay? Shaquille O'Neal. A lot of these, I don't know about LeBron, but a lot of these people who have produced the greatest athletes and politicians and stuff came from single mothers. So it can be done. It's going to take a level of self-sacrificing that you ain't going to know where to pull it from. But with me here to give you a hand clap, because at least you turned onto this video because you wanted to know what was best for yourself. That's the first step. Okay, we're going to talk about all of that. So anyway, I love you. This is your girl, Ask Dion. You are not by yourself. You are not alone. I love each and every one of you. If you want to play this in the bathroom and cry, do so. And what I can say is that if your kids are under the age of 10, you don't need to be around nobody that's not going to encourage you or speak life into you. So if you're around toxic people like your mom, your dad, your baby daddy, please get away from them, because your kids are better off with you than around that BS. So anyways, have a good day.